Давай, обращай внимание на запись. Не себя говорим, а запись копируем.
Every year, about 1,000 new words are added to the Oxford English Dictionary.
Давай.
Every year about
Вот сейчас вот все было очень... Сейчас медленно, тяжеловато, но очень правильно. И вот иди, да, вот так вот копируй, да. Обращай внимание на то, что звучало, да. Every year about 1,000 new words are added to the Oxford English Dictionary.
every year about 1,000 new words are added to Oxford English
Ты видишь, там to the Oxford было, да? Давай.
the Oxford
English Dictionary, да.
English.
Давай, сначала еще раз, да. Every year about 1,000 new words are added to the Oxford English Dictionary, да.
Every year about
Правильно, правильно, давай, давай, не останавливайся, все нормально. Every year,
1,000 new words are added to the Oxford English
да, to the are added to the Oxford English Dictionary. English Dictionary. Мгм.
Where do
Ну, каждый год, да, ну, всякие слова там появляются, аж события какие-то выходят, да. Вот. Надо, кстати, посмотреть где-нибудь найти, где какие слова добавляются.
they come from?
Да, where do they come from?
Where do they come from?
Вот биткоин, например, да, да. Where do they come from?
Where do they come from?
And how do they make it into our everyday lives?
М.
Fine.
Да, and how do they make it into our everyday lives?
And how do they make it into our every life?
Yeah, everyday life. Ви не звучит. Everyday life.
Everyday life.
Да, and how do they make it into our everyday lives?
And how do they make it into our everyday life?
Не надо отрывать. Into our everyday lives.
Into our everyday life.
Все хорошо. Давай, теперь сначала. And how do they make it into our everyday lives? Давай.
And how do they make it into our everyday life?
М,
With over 170,000 words,
Давай.
With over
With over 170,000 words.
with over
Нет, там не было one. With over 170,000 words.
with over 170,000 words.
Да, with over 170,000 words currently in use.
100
Не надо было 100, не говори 100. Давай, сейчас.
with over 170,000 words,
Давай.
with over 170,000 words
it's currently in use
currently in use
in the English language.
in English language.
М.
It might seem we already have plenty,
It might seem we already have one
Plenty.
plenty.
Да, давай. It might seem we already have plenty.
It might seem we already have plenty.
М.
yet as our world changes,
Yet as the world changes.
Не yet, as our world changes.
Yet as the world changes.
Не as our, немножко as our не звучит. Yet, as our world changes.
Yet as our world changes.
Хорошо, можно оторвать, да. Старайся не отрывать. Yet, as our world changes.
Our world changes.
М.
new ideas and inventions spring forth,
New ideas and inventions spring forth.
Вот.
and science progresses.
And science progress.
Our existing words leave gaps in what we want to express.
Our existing words
Leave gaps in what we want to express. Да, our existing words leave gaps in what we want to express.
what we want to express.
Да, еще раз. Our existing words leave gaps in what we want to express.
Our existing words
Gaps, leave gaps in what we want to express.
with gaps in what we want to express.
Yeah, in what we want to express.
In what we want to express.
Ви не звучит. In what we want to express.
And in what we want to express.
Express меня to express. Да, our existing words leave gaps in what we want to express. Да.
Our existing words with gaps in what we want to express.
М,
And we fill those gaps in several ingenious
Давай.
those
Не,
gaps.
fill. We fill. And we fill those gaps.
And we fill
Не, вы меняешь на we. And we fill those gaps.
those gaps.
Practical,
In several ingenious, practical. Да.
In several ingenious, practical,
and occasionally peculiar ways.
and occasionally peculiar,
Не спеши. Тебя никто не гонит, Катя. Сейчас надо качаться. And occasionally peculiar ways.
and occasionally peculiar,
Не, peculiar ways. And occasionally peculiar ways.
and
Occasionally peculiar ways.
peculiar ways,
Да. And occasionally peculiar ways.
and occasionally peculiar,
Occasionally.
occasionally,
And occasionally peculiar ways.
and occasionally peculiar ways.
One way is to absorb a word from another language.
One way is to absorb a word from other language.
Катенька, не надо идти на такой скорости, когда ты там еле ноги заплетаешь, да? One way is to absorb the word. One way is to absorb... Ну хорошо, смотри. Ну хорошо, давай попробуем скопировать сейчас, давай.
One way is to absorb a word from another language.
Давай.
One way is to absorb the word from another language.
Да. Понимаешь, вот этот вот переход на навык копирования, то есть ты как бы постоянно копируешь, он тоже занимает определенное время. Он у тебя движется. Ты просто никогда раньше не думал. Ты слушала одно, а говорила себя. А я тебе говорю, не нужно это делать, потому что это бесперспективно. И у тебя медленно, но все равно прогресс идет. Ну не то, что медленно. Медленно я имею в виду, ты же еще учишься. Все, если бы ты только этим занималась, там, через год бы тебя было не узнать, да. Ну просто у тебя же есть другие обязательства. Отлично, вот сейчас очень хорошо все получается.
English has borrowed so many words.
Давай.
English has borrowed so many words our
Не, вот это не стоило делать. Сказала, дайте послушать, да. Вот. Не надо без надобности говорить, не слышав оригинал, потому что мы же учимся, да. Это если бы ты была в реальной ситуации в жизни и без помощи, да, то тогда говори, что есть. А когда ты занимаешься, надо все время ориентироваться на то, что ты слышишь, да.
English has borrowed so many words over its history.
Давай. Ну, да, English has borrowed so many, только смотри, English has borrowed English has borrowed so many words over its history.
English has borrowed so many words over its
Да, меня its history. Да, English has borrowed so many words over its history.
English has borrowed so many words over its history.
Не надо говорить history over its Сейчас давай послушаем.
Word from another language. English has borrowed so many words over its history.
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 Да, over its history.
Over its history.
Вот.
English has borrowed so
English has borrowed so many words over its history.
English has borrowed so many words over its history.
Мгм.
many words over its history that nearly half of its vocabulary
Да.
That nearly
That nearly half of its vocabulary.
half
Half of its vocabulary.
half of its
Не, vocabulary.
vocabulary.
Да, that nearly half of its vocabulary.
That nearly half of its
Не, half of its vocabulary.
half of its
Half of its vocabulary
half of its vocabulary
comes directly from other languages.
comes directly from another language.
Не было там оно, да. Comes directly from other languages. Да.
comes directly from other
Да, так вот, comes directly from other languages.
Comes directly from another language.
Там, from other, не надо another говорить. From other languages.
From other language.
That nearly half of its vocabulary comes directly from other languages.
That nearly half of its vocabulary comes
Подожди, vocabulary здесь фальшиво. Vocabulary.
vocabulary.
That nearly half of its vocabulary
That nearly half of its vocabulary
Да, во. Cabulary.
Vocabulary.
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 Vocabulary comes
Vocabulary comes
from other languages.
from other languages.
languages. Sometimes this is simply because the
Давай.
Sometimes this is simply because
Не, чуть-чуть правильно. This is simply... Да, sometimes this is... И сразу вниз уходи. Sometimes this is simply because...
thing the word describes
Да.
sometimes this is because the word describes
was borrowed itself.
was born itself.
Еще was borrowed itself.
Was born itself.
Rome and France brought legal and religious concepts.
Rome and France brought legal and religious
Не religious, религиозная.
religion.
Не religious.
Religious.
Да, Rome and France brought legal and religious concepts.
Rome and France brought religious.
Не, brought legal and religious concepts.
Brought
Еще раз. Rome and France brought legal and religious concepts.
and religious concepts.
Concepts. Да, Rome and France brought legal and religious concepts.
Rome and France brought
Legal and religious concepts.
legal and religious concepts.
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 Катенька, а что ты так вздыхаешь? Что тебе не нравится? Вот объясни мне. Ты пойми, ты учишь язык, ты потом никогда не переучишь это все. Это просто потерянные сотни тысяч рублей на работу, тысячи часов. Понятно? Это очень... Вот смотри, я тебе... Угу. Если... Стараемся.
Я так вздыхаю, потому что этот человек много говорит, мне на это стараюсь. Я понимаю, что
Хорошо.
набрать стараюсь вместе с потому что когда мы взываем, это не то, что нас мозг хочет спать. Это признак того, что мы просто так стараемся. Когда мы
Ну хорошо. Вот хорошо, что такая умненькая. Ладно. Вот. Это же, ты себе не представляешь, какой это навык. Это работа дистанционно. Сейчас такие вещи в мире происходят. Сел, уехал в любую страну, все, работай.
France brought legal and religious concepts.
Да. Rome and France brought legal and religious concepts.
Rome and France brought legal and religious concepts.
Не. Legal. Это brought legal and religious concepts.
Brought legal and religious concepts.
Concepts.
Like altar and jury to
Like altar and jury.
Не jury. Алтарь и что? И жюри присяжных. Да. Like altar and jury.
Like altar and jury.
Не jury. Jury. Жюри.
Jury.
Like altar and jury
Like altar and jury.
in medieval England.
In
Medieval England.
medieval England.
Medieval England.
medieval England, while trade brought crops and cuisine.
Не wild trade brought crops and cuisine. Wild. Не cops это полицейские, это crops. Да. Wild trade brought crops and cuisine. Угу. Вот кузина, по-русски кузина это двоюродная сестра, а по-английски это cousin. А кузина как бы кухня это cuisine. Например, русская кухня не Russian kitchen будет, а Russian cuisine. Например, I love Russian cuisine. Угу.
Like Arabic coffee.
Не, слово кофе пришло из арабского мира, да? Кофе. То есть как бы не было, да? Like Arabic coffee.
Italian
М? Ну, видишь, как хорошо, да. Да. Italian spaghetti.
spaghetti,
Italian spaghetti.
Italian spaghetti. Italian spaghetti.
Вот.
and Indian curry.
And Indian curry. And
М.
Indian curry.
То есть карри, суп такой острый, да?
But sometimes another language has just the right word.
Да.
But sometimes another language has just the right word
For a complex idea or emotion.
for a complex idea or emotion,
Вот.
Like naivete.
like naivete,
Наивность, да? Наивete.
like naivete.
Вот это вот когда буква И, вот такой апостроф стоит, то это читается это как бы французское слово, да. И видишь, там буква И, ну то есть А с двумя точками. Ну, пишется именно вот так, как написано, как бы по-французски пишется.
Французский.
Да, да, как бы вот вставляется французское слово. Их немного. Фиансей, наивитей.
А правда, что во французском все вот так вот.
Не, ну то, что у нас Р по-русски, да, помидор, да. Un grand tours habitant de la forêt, de la maison de Trazos, il y a votre lit. Bonjour, je m'appelle Vadim. Да. Поехали.
Machismo.
Мачизмо.
Machismo.
Да, слово мачо.
This is Italian.
Нет, это испанский. Мачизмо. Это, видимо, борода такая вот, мачизмо, нет? Мачиз. Что такое мачиз?
I don't know. I really don't know anything.
Фамилия Мачиз.
Wow.
А, вот. Мачо, да, мачизм, это вот мачизм. Сознание мужского превосходства. Мачизм, да?
Okay.
Сейчас. Так. Мачизм. Неодушевленное мужское, второе планета. Значение. Мужское превосходство. Отсутствует, например, так. Поведение, образ действия, эстетика настоящего мужчины. Мачизм, да? Понятно, да? То есть какой-то такой...
It's fun to walk.
Катенька, тут, понимаешь, ты сейчас получаешь образование. То, что у тебя там boring, не boring, ты это кругозор свой расширяешь. Потому что потом, когда выяснится, что ни с кем, ни с кем нет о чем поговорить, с тобой будет очень интересно поговорить. От этого вообще зависит все, понимаешь, с кем ты будешь общаться, и в конце концов, какого ты спутника в жизни найдешь, понимаешь? Потому что девушка, с которой не о чем разговаривать, она к ней быстро пропадает интерес, понимаешь? Давай, покажи, что там у тебя.
My little brother made this.
М.
This
О,
my little brother made.
да. Окей. О, like a laptop. Вау. И что? О, Apple. Вау. Окей. Скоро у нас такие будут компьютеры. Лет через 10 только такие останутся. Окей. Ну, поехали.
Or schadenfreude.
Да, Schadenfreude.
Oh, shy.
Freude. Schadenfreude. Злорадство, да? Понятно, да? То есть, а слово Фрейд. Фрейд это такой, это то тебе еще надо занимать. Тебе еще Фрейда нужно знать. Это известный психоаналитик, который вообще создал это движение психоанализа. Вот.
Scientists also use classical languages to name new concepts.
Да.
Scientists also use classical language to name new concepts.
Concepts. Во. Ты как-то стала стараться очень хорошо. Отлично, да. Почему?
Потому что мне такая спокойная атмосфера.
Ну хорошо, будем подбирать, да. Так. Scientists
Scientists
also use classical languages to name new concepts.
also use classical language to make
No, classical languages
classical languages
to name new concepts.
to name new concepts.
Еще scientists also use classical languages to name new concepts.
Scientists also use classical languages to make new concepts.
To name new concepts.
To name new concepts.
Mhm.
Clone, for example,
Mhm.
Clone, for example,
was derived from the ancient Greek word for twig.
Mhm.
was derived from the
Ancient Greek word for twig.
was derived from ancient Greek word from
Не,
twig.
Greek word for twig.
Greek word for twig.
Clone, for example, was derived from the ancient Greek word for twig.
Clone, for example, was derived from
The ancient Greek word for twig.
the ancient Greek word from twig.
For twig.
Okay, I'm sorry. From twig.
Clone, for example, was derived from the ancient Greek word for twig.
Clone, for example, was derived from ancient Greek word from twig.
Не from, а for, и артикль перед ancient пропустила. Давай.
For twig.
Не, это все сначала начинаем. Клоун.
Clone was
Подожди, спокойно. Клоун. Да так-то все. Слушаем.
Derived from the ancient Greek word for to name new concepts.
Давай.
Clone, for example, was derived from the ancient Greek word for twig.
Да.
Clone, for example, was derived from ancient Greek word for
Ты можешь сделать from the ancient Greek word for twig.
from the ancient Greek word from twig.
Не, for twig. Word for twig.
Word for twig. Clone was example was
Еще clone, for example, was derived from the ancient Greek word for twig.
clone, for example, was derived from the ancient Greek word for twig.
Мгм.
To describe creating a new plant.
To describe creating a new
Не
plant.
create не делаешь. To describe creating a new plant. To describe creating a new plant.
To describe creating a new plant.
From a piece of the old.
From a piece of the old.
The old.
The old.
Мгм.
From a piece of the old.
From a piece of the old.
From a piece of the old.
Piece. Ты говоришь piece, как пись-пись сделать. Piece, да? А это piece. From a piece of the old.
From the piece of the
Ты
old.
piss опять говоришь, его, да? Ты хочешь пописать? You wanna take a piss?
No.
No? So say it piece. Instead of a piss, да?
A new plant from a piece of
From a piece. From a piece. Это is from a piece. Да? Да. To describe creating a new plant from a piece of the old.
To describe creating a new plant from a piece of the old.
Мягче piece. From a piece. Скажи писчалка. Писчалка. Пискает. Песочек, скажи. Писчал.
From a piece of the old.
Да, только the old. From a piece of the old.
From a piece of the old.
Мгм.
the old. And today,
And today,
the process works both ways.
the process works both ways.
Смотри, ты немножко все-таки должна понимать, потому что миллион раз говорили, процесс работает, он процесс. Поэтому глагол должен быть works, да? The process works both ways.
And today, the process works both ways.
With English lending words like software,
With English lending words like software.
With English using words like software to languages all over the world.
Не надо говорить, не прослушав, да?
to languages all over the world.
To languages all over the world. Да, to languages all over the world. Мгм.
Another popular way to fill a vocabulary gap
Another popular way to fill a vocabulary
Gap.
gap.
Еще another popular way to fill a vocabulary gap.
Another popular way to fill a vocabulary gap
Мгм.
is by combining existing words.
is by combining existing
И
words.
Combining is by combining existing words
Is by combining existing words
That each convey part of the new concept.
that each convey part of the new concept.
that each can be part of the concept
Of the new.
of
That,
the
да. That each convey part of the new concept.
which it can be part of the new concept
Yeah, of the new concept.
of the new concept
Да. By combining existing words that each convey part of the new concept.
by combining existing words
Combining, не делаешь, опускай. By combining existing words
by combining existing words
that each convey part of the new concept.
that each convey part of the new concept.
Мгм.
This can be done by combining two whole words into a compound word.
This can be done by combining two whole words into a
Compound word.
compound word.
Word, не world, a word. Да. Да. This can be done by combining two whole words into a compound word.
Into a compound word.
Давай еще раз. This can be done by combining two whole words into a compound word.
This can be done by combining two whole words into a compound word.
The compound word.
Into a compound word.
Мгм.
Like airport
Like airport.
Like airport
or starfish.
or starfish.
Не, star, морская звезда. Or starfish.
Or starfish.
Or by clipping and blending parts of words together.
Or by mixing and blending parts of words together.
Like spork,
Like spork.
Like sport.
Видишь, такая вилка и ложка, да?
brunch,
Brunch.
or internet.
Or internet.
And
Часто говорится internet. Скажи or internet.
Or internet.
unlike borrowings from other languages,
And unlike borrowings from other languages,
And online bonds from other languages.
these can often be understood.
These can be often be understood.
нет, там два раза би. These can often be understood.
These can be often
Нет, can often be. Спокойно. These can often be understood.
be understood.
The first time you hear them.
The first time you hear them.
Да, это хи немножко бери. The first time you hear them.
The first time you hear them.
And sometimes a new word isn't new at all.
And sometimes a new word isn't new at all.
Это and. Немножко не говорим and. Прям вот так вот.
And sometimes
Это and. Так вот. And sometimes.
And sometimes.
Не надо отрывать sometimes от n. And sometimes a new word isn't new at all.
And sometimes a new word isn't new
At all.
at all.
At all.
Arrow.
Не делаешь. Орел, скажи. Орел.
Орел.
Не, Катя, ну ты балуешься. Зачем ты балуешься? Я тебя прошу, пожалуйста. Ты же знаешь, что нет такого звука «р» в английском. Есть одно касание маленькое. Скажи быстро. Орел.
Орел.
Орел. Быстрее, легонечко. Орел. Скажи, орел орет.
Орел. Орел.
Да, давай. New isn't new at all.
Почему я не могу быстро вот эту букву R произнести?
Да тебе не надо произносить. Тебе надо произносить. Да,
Почему я не
орел, да. And sometimes.
Потому что because when I was little, I can't speak this sound
The Russian, нет, знаешь, как надо говорить? I couldn't, не могла. When I was little, или when I was a little girl, да.
when I was little girl.
I couldn't pronounce
I couldn't pronounce
the Russian R. which sounds like, 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 русский, русский. Да, да. And sometimes a new word isn't new at all. New world, a word. And sometimes a new word. New, меня на new, isn't new at all. Давай еще раз. And sometimes a new word isn't new at all. Сейчас. Давай скажи at all, at all, at all. Да, and sometimes a new word isn't new at all. Опять ты говоришь world, опять ты говоришь new, следим. And sometimes a new word isn't new at all. Да. Вот, хорошо, так и говори.
A new word isn't new at all.
Isn't new, а паузу сделай. At all. Вот.
Obsolete words gain new life by adopting new meanings.
Слова не нужны, которые не используются. Obsolete words gain new life by adopting new meanings. Подожди, ты говоришь absolute, а это obsolete. Морально устаревший. Obsolete это когда устаревший, да? Obsolete words gain new life by adopting new meanings. Да, obsolete words gain new life by adopting new meanings. И опять ты говоришь абсолютно, ничего не концентрируешься. Да, obsolete words, давай. Не works, а words. Obsolete words. Да, по кусочкам. Obsolete words. Obsolete words. Words gain. Words gain. Да, да, ну что ж ты молчишь? Да, words gain. Words gain. Words gain. Давай. Gain new life. Gain new life. Gain new life. By adopting new meanings. By adopting new meanings. By adopting new meanings. Не надо открывать, не надо открывать. By adopting, ну, может, послушаем.
Obsolete words gain new life by adopting new meanings.
Use by adopting new meanings. Не meanings, а мягенькое, meanings. То есть значения. И принимают новое значение, да. By adopting new meanings. Ты meaning говоришь, да? Скажи мина. Вот, не говори мина. Там мина, заложили мину, не говори, паршивый. Да. New meanings. А? Да. New meanings. By adopting new meanings.
Villain originally meant a peasant farmer.
Нет, ты не делаешь Villain originally meant a peasant farmer. Не present, a peasant. Villain originally meant a peasant farmer.
But in a twist of aristocratic snobbery,
Aristocratic snobbery.
А это что такое стиль рисования, когда рисуют четкий контур и немного выходит за него?
Ну да, видимо, он какой-то объем придает, да. Вот, можешь обратить внимание, да. Да, villain originally meant a peasant farmer. Не, meant. Villain originally meant. Давай еще раз послушаем.
originally meant a peasant farmer, but in a twist of aristocratic snobbery,
Да. Нет, там просто villain, не villain, не villain, да, а просто villain. Villain originally meant a peasant. Давай. Villain originally meant a peasant farmer. Давай. Villain.
Villain.
Не, ты V не делаешь. Villain originally meant a peasant farmer.
Villain originally meant a present farmer.
Не present, а peasant. Давай. Да, villain originally meant a peasant farmer.
Villain originally meant a present farmer.
Не present, не the present, а a peasant. Да, villain originally meant a peasant farmer.
Villain originally meant a present farmer.
Не present, а peasant. Да, villain originally meant a peasant farmer.
Villain originally meant a present farmer.
Мгм.
Came to mean someone, a peasant farmer,
Да, a peasant farmer.
A present farmer.
but in a twist of aristocratic snobbery.
Давай.
But in a twist of
Aristocratic snobbery.
aristocratic snobbery.
Да, but in a twist of aristocratic snobbery.
But in a twist of aristocratic snobbery.
Aristocratic snobbery. Да.
Came to mean someone not bound
Came to mean someone not bound
by the knightly code of chivalry.
by the knightly code of chivalry.
Да, by the nightly code of chivalry.
By the knightly code of chivalry.
Yeah, nightly code of chivalry.
Knightly code of chivalry.
And therefore a bad person.
And therefore a bad person.
The bad лучше сделай. And therefore a bad person.
Therefore a bad person.
A geek went from being a carnival performer
A geek
Мне, Катенька, так не нужно артикли выделять. A geek went from being a carnival performer. Не, да, a geek, да, a geek, сюда послушаем.
a geek
A geek, коротенько, да. A geek went from being a carnival performer. Не, это много для A geek, смотри, a geek went from being a carnival performer, да. Ты говоришь, тянешь, Катенька, ну не говорю, не тяни, а ты тянешь. Ну ты как-то концентрацию теряешь вообще. Да. A geek went from being a carnival performer.
A geek went from being
A carnival performer.
a
Carnival performer.
carnival performer.
Вот.
went from being a carnival performer
Да, a carnival, давай. Went from being a carnival performer.
Went from being a carnival performer
to any strange person,
to any strange person.
to a specific type of awkward genius,
To a specific type of awkward genius.
Да, to a specific type of awkward genius.
To a specific type of awkward genius.
Мгм.
and other times
Да, and
Other times,
words come to mean their opposite through irony, metaphor,
why does
and
everyone
other times
Сейчас.
words come to mean
Да, and other times words come to mean the opposite through irony.
and other times words come to mean their opposite,
Yeah, they are opposite through irony.
their opposite through irony.
Irony. Ирония, да. Да, the opposite from irony. They are opposite through irony. Да. Yeah, they are opposite through irony.
The opposite
They are opposite through irony. Да, they are opposite.
their opposite through irony.
Irony, скажи, irony.
opposite through irony, metaphor,
Metaphor. Ри, не делаешь вместо T. Metaphor. Громче, да.
misuse,
All misuse.
like when sick or wicked,
Like when sick or weekend.
Ты видишь weekend, Катенька. Sick and wicked. Like when sick or wicked is used.
Are used to describe something literally amazing.
Давай.
From really,
Yeah. Well, like when sick or wicked are used to describe something literally amazing. Не-не-не, literally, liter, скажи liter, liter, liter. Не делаешь р, liter, liter. Literally amazing. Не, literally. Давай делать это слово liter, скажи, я остановись, liter. Liter, да, повторяй, liter, 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 liter. Давай, liter, liter, liter. Давай, liter, 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 liter. Literally, literally. Amazing, literally. Давай, literally. Не, после вот тут немножко протяни liter, а потом еще одно r, и потом только li. Literally, literally. Катенька, вот это я не хочу слушать это уже. Возможно, невозможно. 3 минуты занимаешься, невозможно. Какой детский сад? Ну, пожалуйста. Невозможно. Знаешь, как люди спортом занимаются или там диссертации пишут по 10 лет там. Ты говоришь, невозможно. Тут вообще просто. Давай, literally. Мы же потихонечку делаем. Кто тебе в классе вообще так говорит, literally? Да, такой звук никто не скажет. Это же реально настоящий звук носителя языка. Это тебе очень сильно...
У нас в классе есть Максим Червяков, который пытается говорить по-английски, у него получается вот такое вот. Like when sick or wicked are just to describe some literally amazing.
Ну хорошо, давай. Literally. Literally. Не, скажи liter, ли. Скажи liter, али. Liter, Али Баба. Скажи liter, Али Баба. Теперь баба отбрасывайся. Liter, Али. Давай. Liter, Али. Liter, Али. Да, и literally. Еще раз. Теперь ли мягко убери и вместо и. Literally. Немножко добавил literally. Ну хорошо. Amazing.
But if words can be formed in all these ways,
Не, этого не было, Катя, не слышишь, не запоминаешь ничего.
but if
But if words, где там сказано but it? But if words, давай, but if words, да, только words, да, but if words,
are used to describe something literally amazing.
да, literally amazing. Там больше пауза, literally amazing.
But if words can be formed in all these ways,
Нет, этого не было. But if words can be formed. Не, ре маленькая, ре. But if words can be formed. In all these ways. These. But if words can be formed in all these ways. But if words, давай. Да, она такая громче говорит. Она попробуй, да. But if words can be formed in all these ways. Вот так вот. Вот так и все, так и делаем. Нет, только ты, Катенька, ну что ж такая вредная становишься? Громче не значит баловаться. Ты же изменила полностью интонацию, типа вот тебе в рожу тебя, на тебе, вот, грязное полотенце, знаешь? Как бы, давай. But if words can be formed in all these ways. Давай. But if words can be formed in all these ways. Давай. Вот так идем, да, вот так, такой скоростью, такой громкостью, с такой скоростью, и затормаживаем, когда не справляешься.
Why do some become mainstream?
Давай. Why do some become mainstream?
Why do some become
Немножко ду протяни. Why do some become mainstream?
Why do some become mainstream?
Mainstream, вот так вот.
Why do some become mainstream?
While others fall out of use.
While others fall out of use.
Out of, while others fall out of use.
While others fall out of use.
Fall out of use.
Fall out of use.
While others fall out of use.
While others
Не надо others отрывать. While others fall out of use.
while others fall out of use.
Вот какое-то слово йойкс. Йойкс.
Or never catch on in the first place.
Or never catch a. Or never. Громче, громче. Or never catch on in the first place.
Or never catch on in the first place.
Мгм.
Sometimes the answer is simple.
Sometimes the answer
Громче, громче. Sometimes the answer is simple.
Sometimes the answer is simple.
As when scientists or companies give an official name to a new discovery.
Give a name to a new discovery.
Yeah. As when scientists and companies.
As when scientists companies
Не, scientists or companies. Так, давай послушаем немножко. Нет, вот это.
Is simple. As when scientists or companies
Да, as when scientists and or companies.
as when scientists or companies
Да, давай.
give an official name to a new discovery.
give a nation
Не, подожди. Give an official name
give an official name
to a new discovery. Да, give an official name to a new discovery. Еще раз. As when scientists or companies.
as when scientists and
Companies
companies
or as when scientists or companies
as when scientists and companies
give an official name to a new discovery.
give an official name to a new discovery
Or technology.
Or technology.
or technology.
And some countries have language academies to make the decisions.
And some countries have language academies to make
The decisions. Decisions. Да, and some countries, громче, давай. And some countries have language academies to make the decisions.
and some countries have language academies
Не, language academies.
language academies
Да, and some countries have language academies. Не, and some countries have language academies to make the decisions.
to make decisions
And some countries have language academies to make the decisions.
to make the decisions
Decisions.
decisions
But for the most part,
But for the most part. Да.
but for the most part
But for the most part. А ты как-то вверх идешь. Сверху нет. But for the most part.
official sources like dictionary
Да.
official sources like dictionary
It's official sources like dictionaries.
only document current usage.
only document current
Да, G. Only document current usage.
only document current usage.
Вот.
New words don't originate from above,
Да.
New words don't originate from above,
but from ordinary people,
but from ordinary people.
spreading words that hit the right combination.
That is right
Нет, spreading. Не делай spreading. Смотри. Spreading words that hit the right combination. The spreading words that hit the right combination.
spread word that hit the right combination
Of useful and catchy.
of useful and catchy.
Take the word meme,
Take the word meme.
coined in the 1970s.
Coined это как бы от монетина, отчеканено, да? То есть типа вошло в обиход.
Что за мем?
А мим это мем по-русски, мем. Ну сейчас разберемся, да. Да, coined in the 1970s by sociobiologist. Да,
By sociobiologist Richard Dawkins.
да, Richard.
Richard Dawkins.
Да, by socio. Стоп.
By social.
Не уверен, подожди.
Biologist Richard Dawkins. Meme, coined in the 1970s by
Sociobiologist Richard Dawkins.
By social biology.
Не, sociobiologist
Sociobiology.
Richard Dawkins. Не, Richard Dawkins.
Just Richard Dawkins.
Dawkins.
Ancient Greek for imitation.
For imitation.
Не, no. From the ancient Greek for imitation.
From the ancient Greek for imitation.
He used it to describe how ideas
Давай. He used it to describe how ideas.
He used it to describe our ideas.
No, how? He used it to describe how ideas.
He used it to describe how ideas
and symbols propagate through a culture.
and symbols propagate
Through a culture.
through a culture.
Да. And symbols propagates through a culture.
Propagates the culture.
Yeah, through a culture.
Through a culture.
Like genes through a population.
Like genes through a
Population.
pew. Through.
Pop, pew, 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 pop,
Да.
pew.
Да. Like genes through a population.
Like genes through a like genes
Population.
With the advent of the internet,
with the advent of internet.
Не, ты видишь там артикль? Я вижу, да, смотрю, давай. Давай, я что-то вижу, давай. With the advent of the internet.
With the advent of internet.
Катенька, of the internet. With the advent of the internet.
With the advent of internet.
Катенька, of the internet. Давай, of the internet. Давай.
Of the internet. Of the internet.
Да, отлично, да. With the advent of the internet.
With the advent of internet.
Катенька, ну только что же говорил артикль. With the advent of the internet.
With the advent of internet.
Of the internet. Давай.
With the advent of the internet. With the advent of
Не, advent. Ты мой экран видишь вообще, нет?
да.
Ну ты же видишь там advent. With the advent of the internet.
With the advent of the internet.
Вот.
With the advent of the internet.
Так не нужно отрывать the internet. Все, давай еще раз послушаем.
with the advent of the internet,
Of the internet. With the advent of the internet.
Internet. With the advent of the internet. With the advent of the internet. With the advent of the internet.
Ти вже запуталась. Последні два рази була халтура просто, знаєш. На тобі, Боже, що мені не гоже.
the process became directly observable.
The process became directly observable.
With the process became directly observable.
Observable. That the process became directly observable. Да.
With the process became directly observable.
Мгм.
In how jokes and images
And how jokes and images.
And how
Jokes. Не делаешь. And how jokes and images.
and how
Jokes.
jokes.
Скажи Джоу. Скажи Джоукс. Джоукс. How jokes. Да.
How jokes.
Вот, еще раз. Джоукс. Джоуль, да? Джоу. How jokes and images.
How jokes and images
were popularized at lightning speed.
were popularized.
Не справляйся его. Па. Да. Popularized.
Popularized.
At lightning speed.
At lightning speed.
Were popularized at lightning speed. Were popularized at lightning speed. that were popularized at lightning speed.
were popularized at lightning speed.
Еще раз, were popularized at lightning speed.
Were popularized at lightning speed.
And soon the word came to refer to a certain kind of image.
And soon the world came to refer to a
Certain kind of image.
certain kind of image.
And soon the word came to refer to a certain kind of image.
To
A certain kind of image.
certain kind of image.
Mhm.
So meme not only describes how words become part of language,
So meme not only
Не, так не было. Not only describes. Давай. So meme not only describes how words become part of language.
become words for our language.
the word is a meme itself.
With the world,
Не, the word, the word is a meme itself.
the word is meme itself.
Надо было, конечно, тебе послушать.
And there's a word for this phenomenon.
Давай.
And the word is
Не, and there is a word for this phenomenon.
and this word is
Не, there is, не делаешь. And there is a word of this phenomenon.
and there is this word
Не, there is a word, не делаешь. And there is a word for this phenomenon.
and there is a word of this phenomenon.
Of words that describe themselves.
And words that describe themselves.
Мгм.
Autological.
Не, autological. Р не делаешь. Autological. Да, autological. Да,
Not all new words are created equal.
Not all the words that are created equal.
no, are created equal, sure. Not all new words are created equal.
Not all the words are created equal.
Some stick around for millennia.
Some sticks around for
Не, stick around. Some stick around for millennia. Их же много. Если бы someone sticks, было бы someone. А так some sticks, давай. Some sticks around. Some stick around for millennia.
some sticks around
Не, stick around. Some stick around for millennia.
some stick around for millennia.
Some adapt to changing times,
Some adapt to changing times
and others die off.
and others die off.
Some relay information,
Some relay information.
some interpret it.
Some interpret it.
But the way these words are created
But the way these words are created
and the journey
Created, давай еще раз. But the way these words are created.
but the way these words are created
take to become part of our speech
To become part of our speech.
to become part of our speech
Mhm.
tells us a lot about our world
tells us a lot about
It tells us a lot about our word.
tells us a lot about our world
and how we communicate within it.
and
And how we communicate within it.
how we communicate with it.
On the TED-Ed website, we have
Ну хорошо. Так, просто идет, просто повторяй на английском и все, давай.
every year about 1,000 new words are added to the Oxford English Dictionary. Where do they come from, and how do they make it into our everyday lives? With over 170,000 words currently in use in the English language, it might seem we already have plenty. Yet as our world changes, new ideas and inventions spring forth, and science progresses, our existing words leave gaps in what we want to express, and we fill those gaps in several ingenious, practical, and occasionally peculiar ways. One way is to absorb a word from another language. English has borrowed so many words over its history that nearly half of its vocabulary comes directly from other languages. Sometimes this is simply because the thing the word describes was borrowed itself. Rome and France brought legal and religious concepts like altar and jury to medieval England, while trade brought crops and cuisine like Arabic coffee, Italian spaghetti, and Indian curry. But sometimes another language has just the right word for a complex idea or emotion, like naivete, machismo, or Schadenfreude. Scientists also use classical languages to name new concepts. Clone, for example, was derived from the ancient Greek word for twig to describe creating a new plant from a piece of the old. And today, the process works both ways, with English lending words like software to languages all over the world. Another popular way to fill a vocabulary gap is by combining existing words that each convey part of the new concept. This can be done by combining two whole words into a compound word, like airport or starfish, or by clipping and blending parts of words together, like spork, brunch, or internet. And unlike borrowings from other languages, these can often be understood the first time you hear them. And sometimes a new word isn't new at all. Obsolete words gain new life by adopting new meanings. Villain originally meant a peasant farmer, but in a twist of aristocratic snobbery, came to mean someone not bound by the knightly code of chivalry, and therefore a bad person. A geek went from being a carnival performer to any strange person, to a specific type of awkward genius. And other times, words come to mean their opposite through irony, metaphor, or misuse. Like when sick or wicked are used to describe something literally amazing. But if words can be formed in all these ways, why do some become mainstream while others fall out of use or never catch on in the first place? Sometimes the answer is simple, as when scientists or companies give an official name to a new discovery or technology. And some countries have language academies to make the decisions. But for the most part, official sources like dictionaries only document current usage. New words don't originate from above, but from ordinary people, spreading words that hit the right combination of useful and catchy. Take the word meme, coined in the 1970s by sociobiologist Richard Dawkins from the ancient Greek for imitation. He used it to describe how ideas and symbols propagate through a culture like genes through a population. With the advent of the internet, the process became directly observable in how jokes and images were popularized at lightning speed. And soon, the word came to refer to a certain kind of image. So meme not only describes how words become part of language, the word is a meme itself. And there's a word for this phenomenon of words that describe themselves: autological. Not all new words are created equal. Some stick around for millennia, some adapt to changing times, and others die off. Some relay information, some interpret it, but the way these words are created and the journey they take to become part of our speech tells us a lot about our world and how we communicate within it.
Хорошо, Катенька.
Website, we have a video series called
Ладно, Катенька.
that's dedicated to exploring
Сейчас.